Welcome to another episode of community segment from Vijay TV and the Rai Vision films. Today we have a very special guest who is the India-Australian Goodwill Ambassador with us. Please welcome Saroni Roy. Saroni, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you for having me.
Before we proceed, can you just tell us about yourself, what you've been doing and how things are?
Sure, Vijay. So I'm an Australian actor based in Sydney. I also do a lot of social work, community work, and because of which I was awarded the India-Australia Goodwill Ambassador title in 2018. And then last year, of course, again, I work on diversity, sustainability and social justice. These are my initiatives broadly. And I christened all these initiatives to Saroni Roy Foundation.
Tell me, that's your background. Now, you are working on this project in India. And that must be really... How do you manage to work from here and do things in India? Tell us more about this project that you are currently working on.
Right. So basically a friend of mine who's based in Sydney approached me that there is this organization in India called Vijay Sansad and Shramjeevi Sanghatana, and they are a pro-tribal outfit supporting marginal communities, LGBTQ communities, tribals, the Adivasis, the indigenous Indians. They're in rural areas of Maharastra. So they have been doing this work since 1979. So when I read about them and when I spoke to the founder of this organization, Mr. Vijay Pandit, and his wife Vidyulata Pandit, both of them started this organization in 1979 and to support the farmers and the rural communities living in these regions in Maharashtra. So what happened was then when they were working with these families, they started activities for children, like sports activities and some economic and social development activities. And then they found that a lot of families and children and youth, and they were not participating in these activities. So then they kind of asked them what's the reason, and then they got to know that they were in the program called bonded labor system, which prevailed at that time. And then after that, they, Mr. Vijay Pandit and his wife, they kind of they worked towards getting them released from this bond.
Can you just expand on bonded laborers? What does that mean in reality?
So in a nutshell, it would mean that there were these laborers and these farmers who were living in these areas. They took a loan from small loans for their children's marriages or education or even food.
Used to happen a lot in India before.
Yes. So then what happens is they are like your slave, or they are in a contract, that kind of thing, to work for you on your land as farmers or do the household work and all of that. So Mr. Pandit and his partner, they kind of worked and got this. They also received the anti-slavery award because they could release thousands of these bonded laborers from that bond and that debt system. So
one more question: Are these guys still there, or the system is abolished now?
I don't think the system is abolished completely, but I'm not sure about that. We'll have to listen to it, like research on it more. But then in 1982, they received the Anti-Slavery Award, and that's the time they kind of released all these bonded laborers. And since then they have been, and that was the time when Shramjeevi Sanghatana was founded or created. And since then they have been working towards supporting these communities. So from ration, like food grains, to essential commodities like detergent, soaps, or rice, or lentil, or all of this. So basically, when he approached me, what the flyer said was 650 Indian rupees.
650 Indian rupees, which is $13?
Yes, 13 Australian
Aussie
dollars,
dollars,
and
yes.
let's say US dollars 9
$9
US dollars. So that amount, that tiny amount for us, could feed one family for 1 week.
Wow, $13 feeding one family for 1 week.
That's
And that
correct.
includes things like soap and...
Soap and food like rice, lentils, cooking oil.
So if I was to donate $13
Yes.
To this
Vidhayak
Santhya,
Sansad.
yeah,
Vidhayak Sansad.
then it would feed one family.
Family for 1 week.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay,
Exactly.
so how
So
can
that's
we help?
when then I read about them. I spoke to Mr. Vivek Pandit over calls, and I made some calls. I got more information about it and everything. And then I approached all my friends worldwide, like Sydney, US, UK, India, everywhere. Now, what they came back to me with was, it was very difficult for them to key in all the information, and then the whole currency exchange thing, and you know.
So
it
they
was
could
very
use things like
difficult.
PayPal and things like that?
Yeah, so a lot of countries PayPal doesn't work.
Okay.
A lot of countries Google Pay doesn't work. You know, things like that.
So how would our audience be sure that whatever they donate goes to this Sanstha, this
To
organization?
this organization.
How do we...
Yeah, so what I did was, when I saw this, it would kind of, if I have to put all my details in and everything in a certain thing, and then, you know, tax liabilities or whatever comes in, so then it is almost discouraging a donor.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's
Exactly.
just too much. So then what I did was, I found out the most trusted fundraiser platform,
Okay, yeah.
which is called Give India.
Give India.
Give India.
Give, that's G-I-V-E, India,
India, yes.
Okay, Give India.
So Give India platform is the most world-renowned platform right now, most
Okay.
trusted platform, where 100% of the proceeds goes directly to the organization.
To organization,
Yes.
okay. So
And then, you know, it's just like, it will, you can pay in, you can donate in any currency. So you can just choose USD or Australian dollars or euros or whatever,
Right.
or Indian rupees.
Sure.
And it will just send out a receipt to you.
is there, I mean, I can find out by Googling, but is there any commissions that they charge? They are giving
No.
you? No.
So if you go to the fundraiser link,
Yeah.
I'll provide you that as well. And when you click on that, all the information, the fine prints, everything is mentioned there, so that once the donor feels it's a secure platform,
Yeah.
they can.
So the
donate
donation
that.
can be from $1 to $100 to whatever they want,
Yes,
right?
yes.
There is
Right
no
now we are
minimum.
not putting a minimum, but then I would suggest that, you know, the minimum I would say is
Feed one
$10
family.
or- yes.
Let's go for one family,
Yeah,
$13.
just one
That should
family.
be
So,
really good.
yeah.
I mean, you guys go out for a cappuccino and you know you spend $5-6 per cup of chai latte. I spend $6 for chai latte. So I mean, you know, 2 chai
Yeah.
lattes feeds one
Family for 1 week.
That's
Yeah.
really good, and it's Give India, yeah.
That's correct.
Platform is good.
Platform,
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty good. And this program, and I see you're already running this program, right? And you've got lots of people who have already
Yes,
donated.
my family, friends,
Yes.
they've kind of donated from India and Australia and US, and I created this so that, you know, you can just share the link around, and
Okay.
then people can just click and just donate on a secure platform.
Right. Okay. So please, guys and girls, if you care to help us out, help this young lady here in raising whatever you want. $13 feeds one family per week, and that's beautiful. That's really good. So that will continue. Is there another message you want to give our viewers?
What I would like to actually stress also is that a lot of people would say that, you know, during the lockdown, what did this organization do? Or, you know, I had created the fundraiser during the lockdown as well. But what we can see here is with India right now as well, with the lockdown getting slowly, gradually they're lifting the lockdown, people are getting back to work and stuff like that. But then the number of cases of coronavirus are again coming back.
Yeah,
You know,
the
we can see
coronavirus
that.
is not
So,
eradicated from the country. It's just there, and if we kind of become complacent with the way we do things like touching and sneezing, and that's really still dangerous. So people have to be careful not to.
Yeah, and in India, because the cyclone has also hit Maharastra and Kolkata, the West Bengal region, and all of that. So after the COVID, this impact was again, a setback to India.
Sure.
And especially the wage earners, the daily wage earners, the migrant laborers who were, so the Vidhayak Sansad actually helped these migrant laborers who were en route to their home state. They were coming back to their home state by foot, and they kind of, Vidhayak Sansad volunteers, they went there and they kind of provide them with Ayurvedic medicines, food, water, everything that they could, even to police constables, including transgenders, and all the rural families living there or on their way back home.
Right.
They also provided transport facilities.
Okay.
So that was again a great thing. And also one thing that they started last month in June is Manush Kichi Thali, which is basically free meals.
Okay.
They provided over 10,000 meals in that 1 month. Free meals.
Fantastic.
In that 1 month.
That's good.
And when they started this lockdown emergency relief kind of a response to the lockdown, so they were unable to support these families anymore because everyone was, the scarcity of food does exist, we all know that. And so what they did was they were not eligible, a lot of these families were not eligible for any ration from government assistance.
From government, sure.
Yes, so what they did was that they kind of he immediately applied for a plea in the Mumbai High Court, and he got, I think it's over 43,000 families or so, they could provide that government assistance because ration cards were immediately issued to these
So
families.
they did not have ration cards, so they couldn't get any payments from the government.
Assistance, yes.
Okay, so and then this organization went
They
and
helped
them.
Yes,
That's
to
super.
get
That's really nice
ration cards as well.
organization. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is really very, very important that we help this community, the tribals, Adivasis. Adivasis actually all over India, Maharashtra in particular, many. And if you can kindly donate, whatever you want to donate. We are not saying minimum is for one family $13, but whatever you like, $5, $1, I don't mind. We don't mind really, right? Whatever you give with your heart, that will be accepted. And food is the best way of donating people. You get the most benefit out of donating food to people, right? So what we'll do is we'll take your details, we'll put them at the end of this show. And people, please go to that India. What is it? India.
Give India.
Give India site and do the donation. You will pick up Saroni's details on there. Anything else you want to add before we say goodbye to everyone?
No, nothing really. It's just that I would rely on everyone's instinctive giving nature, and what I've seen from my bushfire relief fundraiser that I did, a food donation drive and everything, it's like a ripple effect. If you can just spread around and share the link.
Sure, so share it with your friends as well.
Yes.
Put it on Facebook, YouTube, etc. These shows are going on Facebook, YouTube and other platforms as well. Anyway, Saroni, it's been a fantastic pleasure to have you here at the studios. Thank you so much. We will stay in touch. And ladies and gentlemen, for time being, it's good night from me and good night from you.